Dave here with Dr. Rexham Rogers. Does the lottery help churches?
Well, the lottery's actually been used by churches and Christian organizations clear back 250, 300 years. Harvard, for example, they raised money for Harvard. Yale, those originals, the very first church in America, the first Baptist church in Providence, Rhode Island, was actually, the lottery was used to help raise some of the money. So you look at that and think, what in the world were they thinking? Because the Pilgrims, the Puritans back there were strongly against such things. But we've gone in three waves in this country of acceptance of gambling, pull back away from it, and then come back to it. We're now on the third wave. In the last 20 years, it dates to the Federal Indian Gaming Regulatory Act in 1988 that Congress passed in an effort to help the Native American, but now it's exploded. It's become cultural mainstream. Gambling is absolutely everywhere, and it's become something that we think is a quick fix and easy entertainment, and somehow we think we're invulnerable to the problems that it creates.
Doesn't it benefit the school system or elderly people or other causes?
Well, that's certainly the argument that people make. If you are a proponent of gambling, you're in favor of it, you're going to say that the lotteries in particular have been billed that way when they've been put on state ballots. What happens, though, and what the American public doesn't understand, is that indeed the money, if it's earmarked for schools, for example, does go to schools. But it doesn't mean that education gets more money. It's a bait and switch. What happens is the money from the lottery goes to the schools, and the money that would have come from other tax sources to support the schools is now given off to something else. So it's just another tax. It's an involuntary tax, and it's one that's voluntary, I guess, in the sense you participate in the lottery, but it's one that the legislators can vote for and not be held accountable for increasing taxes, and so everybody's grabbing for that seemingly brass ring.
Is gambling pretty much a man's game?
Well, it used to be. When you think about the Old West, you know, and the pictures we see even in the movies, that was fairly accurate of all the men sitting around the saloon playing poker. And still, yet today, there's probably more men participating than there are women. But women are rapidly increasing in number and participation. The casinos make it very easy for them to do. What's interesting is that, and so does online gambling, by the way. And by the way, online gambling is something that even your 12-year-old grandson can get into. All he has to have is your credit card and get online, and they don't know that he's not 65. They just have a credit card, and away they go. But at any rate, you know, women more and more are participating. Women tend to gamble differently than men. You know, surprise, surprise. That's why there are so many different games in the casinos. Different personalities are attracted to different things. Some like the roulette wheel, you know, some like to shoot crap, some like to play cards because of the mind games involved. Some like just the slot machine. And women tend to participate a lot in the slot machines, and some women who have been interviewed said it's one of the areas where they don't have to put up with men. So it's, you know, they're just there, it's them and the machine, and we can understand that sentiment, but it's just as threatening to them in terms of undermining their economic well-being as it is to men.